The state of West Elizabeth in Red Dead Redemption 2 is home to some of the most picturesque and beautiful wilderness in the entire game, while the state itself is divided by the Upper Montana River with the Great Plains and Blackwater to the south. North of the Upper Montana River lies Strawberry and the deep and dense northern forests, which of course are not only tranquil and stunning, but also home to some of the greatest dangers of the natural world. And while this alluring and remarkable region can certainly inspire blissful serenity, this region is also home to some of the greatest terrors imaginable. And as we shall see, far too many people have not only fallen for these alluring and enticing surroundings, but also fallen victim to the most terrifying predators. Vedder's Echo is a small cabin that can be found in the Great Valley region of the state of West Elizabeth. The cabin is situated northwest of the peak of Mount Shan and southwest of Hanging Dog Ranch, just south of Little Creek River. The cabin was home to a man who may have been an aspiring poet or writer who wished for his family to join him in the area. Upon discovery and your arrival at Vedder's Echo, whether playing as Arthur Morgan or John Marston, if you enter through the front door, you can very easily die a very grisly death. Instead, make your way around to the back of the cabin, where there is in fact a back door, which will eventually lure out the impending danger. Waiting inside Vedder's Echo for its next victim is a giant grizzly bear. Grizzly bears can be found all throughout Big Valley, and especially around Little Creek River. Incidentally, this area is also home to packs of wolves and mountain lions as well. Upon entering the cabin, you will discover a horrifying and bloody scene. The aftermath of a grizzly bear which stormed through the back door and ambushed its victim, who was sitting at a desk and preoccupied with their work. And yeah, that would be a pretty terrifying and gruesome way to die. At the man's desk, you'll find a pipe, which you can eventually give to Dutch, as well as a silver pocket watch that you can later give to Lenny. There's also a cigarette card and another one on the front porch railing, biscuits and candy, a cheat code which reads "You want punishment," the initials EC made with matches, but most importantly at the desk, you can find 2 poems. The first poem, presumably written by the deceased man, is a celebration of West Elizabeth's biodiversity and wilderness. However, in this first poem, the author reveals their complete and utter lack of experience, wisdom, but most importantly, their horrendous judgment. A line reads, "And once I saw the distant amber eye of Ursus horribilis watch me pass." Ursus horribilis is the Latin term for grizzly bear, and the author literally wrote about a distant grizzly bear watching him. While stalking humans is rare, grizzly bears have been known to sometimes stalk and ultimately kill people. The second poem is presumably written to the man's wife or partner. Entitled Dear Annabella, it reads, You told me not to write, yet knew I must. Please read this through. Here I have made a home for both of us, if you but knew. Beneath Mount Shan my little cabin lies, enclosed by trees. My work goes well, here peace and open skies bring health and ease. 'Tis simple life, no crowds, no strife, no cause of restless sleep. No lawlessness, because there are no laws but ours to keep. How are the boys? I miss them every day. Oh, let them come. They'll eat fresh fish and breathe clean air and play and feel the sun. You are afraid to leave all that you know, I understand. Have faith, my Annabella. Love shall grow in fertile land. These two poems reveal so much about this aspiring writer's naivety regarding the wilderness and especially Big Valley. While Big Valley certainly showcases beautiful and serene forests, fields, rivers, and streams, it is also home to some of the most dangerous predators imaginable, and this man seems to have been completely ignorant of this or disregarded the danger to fulfill his own self-indulgent whims. At the desk, you can also find a pack of premium cigarettes, which of course includes another cigarette card. Also, by the man's bedside is a potent health cure. As for the initials EC made from the matches on the desk, one of the cigarette cards in the artists, painters, writers, and poets set includes the singer Edith Corain, a famous singer of the era, and perhaps this aspiring writer, at Vedder's Echo, also admired this singer. As mentioned, Big Valley is full of dangerous predators, and Vedder's Echo is right in the middle of this peril, as a pack of wolves spawned and raced for the cabin, not long after I killed the grizzly bear and went inside. Perhaps if this aspiring writer wasn't ambushed by a grizzly bear, he might have been torn apart by a pack of wolves, or mauled by a mountain lion. Just southeast of Vedder's Echo and up on the heights of Mount Shan is a very bloody and destroyed campsite. Presumably someone was camping out here one night, but just like the aspiring writer at Vedder's Echo, they were also ambushed and viciously mauled by a grizzly bear, and probably the same grizzly bear that ambushed the writer at Vedder's Echo. At this campsite, you can find a coin pouch, a silver pocket watch, high velocity rifle ammo, the recipe for special miracle tonics, and predator bait in a loot box, plus a bottle of moonshine. Directly north of Vedder's Echo, across Little Creek River and past Hanging Dog Ranch, is the location of another brutal grizzly bear ambush. Although this time, despite having his face torn up, this victim was able to kill the vicious grizzly bear with an antler knife, which you can collect and have in your inventory. Within the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, it would seem that too many people are becoming unnecessary victims of grizzly bears due to not fully respecting nature and taking it for granted, while also not completely comprehending the real and imminent dangers that exist in nature. It is precisely because of these dangers that the stilt cabin was built and therefore exists for you to sleep in. Its raised elevation ensures that no grizzly bear or wolves will maul you as you unwind and hunker down after a long day out in the wild. The stilt cabin is located just east of where you can collect the antler knife and slightly northwest of Hanging Dog Ranch. Finally, Vedder's Echo was named after Philip Henry Vedder, a 19th century buffalo hunter who was killed by a grizzly bear in his cabin. Another hunter discovered Vedder's remains as he sought shelter when it started raining. Inside the cabin, the man found a newspaper that Vedder had written on in his own blood. detailing his encounter and fight with the grizzly bear, which ended with, "I'm dying." The man did find 2 empty rifle casings, so perhaps Vedder did kill the grizzly bear, similar to the man who killed the grizzly bear with the antler knife. The fact that the aspiring writer at Vedder's Echo appeared to have no weapons whatsoever at his cabin genuinely speaks to his overwhelming naivety.